Welcome back to Port City Living Season 2. We are so excited to be back with you. We are making a slight pivot, so we're going to explain that in just one second. I'm Bill Corbett. I am a real estate agent, and I serve the greater Wilmington, North Carolina area, and my co-host is Brad Brown. He's a mortgage lender with Atlantic Bay Mortgage, and in our first season, if you tuned in and listened to us, we talked primarily about Wilmington and the surrounding areas. We talked about different events that happen in the area. We talked about restaurants. We talked about movies, the movie industry that is here, which has been a big part of our area for years. We had many guests on, and it was quite fun. We laughed a lot. I think, gave a lot of good information and help people understand and get a grasp of what life in Wilmington can be like,
outside of Wilmington,
outside of Wilmington.
The Southport
we
field
talked
trip.
about Southport. We talked about Burgall, my hometown, and all these kind of things. So it was really good. And that was season 1. We did 16 episodes. So if you haven't listened, please go back and listen and subscribe. We would really love that. It was a lot of fun to get to do. We wrapped up in, I think, December of 2024, and we were going to come right back, but we ended up taking a little bit of a break, and one thing led to another, and life got in the way, and then we just didn't do it, and which happens. But we were both like, okay, we need to get this going again, and we didn't. And then several weeks ago, I had this epiphany. I had this magical idea of, let's do the podcast again, but let's do it a little bit differently than we did it before. So this time around, in season 2 of Port City Living, we're not going to focus on living here. We're going to focus on the ins and outs of buying and selling, getting a mortgage, dealing agent to agent, mortgage lender to agent, mortgage lender to buyer seller. So we're going to give you all the down and dirty and the honest talk about what it takes to buy and sell. And this was sparked by an agent here in Wilmington who posted on Facebook a listing that he had, and it had gone under contract, and it fell out of contract, and he made an announcement on Facebook, and the caption or his commentary was basically that there were some people that were going to buy it, and they were basically beginners at flipping or rehabbing or whatever. And in the process, he called them that. He called them novices, or they were a novice at what they were doing. They didn't really know what they were doing. And therefore, I guess they got in over their head. He didn't really give a lot of detail, but they had to back out. And so he said, now the house is back up on the market. And so he didn't get any pushback from any agents, but he got some pushback from just, citizens. And one particular guy just kind of, I thought, raked him over the coals about it. And he was like, look, I'm being honest, because this is what happened. And he said, he didn't name any names. He didn't talk about, the buyer agent or the LLC that was buying it. He just said that they didn't know what they were doing, and they got in over their head, and now they're move on to something else. And he said, I'm basically making this a public service announcement. And I was like, you know what? We don't have enough honesty in this business. We don't really, I feel like sometimes buyer agents, seller agents, we tell our clients sometimes what they need to hear, maybe, just to appease them. But I think that this is something that needs to be heard, and we need to be honest and real with people and the expectations of buying and selling. What I go through as an agent, and Brad, what you go through as a mortgage lender, because I'm sure you see it all too, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to kind of get into, and we're going to continue to call it Port City Living, but we've got a new tagline, and it's called Escrows and Egos.
Dun, dun, dun. You can never ride that with the real
Brad
thing.
was like, I'm going to do this when I say that part. I'm so excited. And we're going to be, down and dirty and honest about the what it takes to buy and sell and what we all go through. But this is not going to be a, heavy hearted and negative podcast. This is going to be enlightening, and hopefully you learn something and share it with your friends and family that are thinking about buying and selling. And I think in the process, people will learn some tips and things to do to make it easier for all of us. It's not about making my job easier. I don't care, but there are some things, both Brad and I, if they would just listen to us and listen to what we tell them, it would make the biggest difference in the world, and it would save people so much time and so much energy.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, we haven't talked about this yet, but it's like we're letting the buyers and the sellers control the narrative now.
100%.
And that needs to be put back into the hands of the professionals.
And I think part of the problem is that we're in a society now where, all the information is at everybody's fingertips with ChatGPT, and you can find out all the information you want to find out. And I feel like that it's been coming on a long time now that buyers and sellers, they feel like they can get their own information and then they don't need us as much. And I I'm one of those that I like the personal touch. I like the human touch.
Right.
But at the same time, if I need you to listen to what I'm telling you, and because I sort of know what I'm talking about. I think I know what I'm talking about. Correct. I've done this for 10 years now as a real estate agent. Brad, you've been doing this for over 20 years in the mortgage industry.
Did we say this already? Why do we have to keep pounding that?
No, I didn't say this already. I don't think I did. If I did, well, I'm just letting you know that we've been in the business for a while and we know what we're talking about. We really, really do. So that's where this new season is going of Port City Living, Escrows and Egos. We're going to talk about buying and selling and all the pitfalls and then we're going to talk about the good things too, all the good parts of it and what makes us feel good and what makes us feel happy. Again, it's when buyers and sellers listen to us. That makes us happy. So if you want to get some good information, we're going to pass this along. We may have some guests on during this season. We'll see what happens.
Why not?
Yeah, we may have some other, maybe have some other lenders, maybe have some other real estate agents on to talk about their experiences.
Have an appraiser in here.
Have an appraiser, some maybe a home inspector, get their thoughts on it too. So. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so. We'd greatly appreciate it. Share it with your friends and family. We would love for it to grow. We have a lot of fun doing this. And again, we're pivoting from one type of podcast to another type, but I think it's going to be really, really good. So stay tuned for the very first episode of Port City Living, Escrows and Egos. We're going to talk about something really good. Pre-approval.
Don't. What was that appropriate?
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Bye, everybody.